so beneficial just to be able to evaluate and kind of learn a lot about your team. You guys know how I feel about them in regards to the way they show up every day, but more from a tactical standpoint, things that, we need to work on, things that we're doing well. I do like the pace that we're playing at. I think we're doing a really good job. Stuff that we've talked about in the off season, just with deeper outlets and trying to really get out and run in transition. But several things we still need to do a better job with. I do like the balanced scoring that we've had in the first couple games, but a lot of work to do on the defensive end. We're a better defensive team than you've seen the last 2 games. Our communication for such a close-knit group, it's not anywhere close to where it needs to be. And I felt like after watching some clips of SLU and kind of going through that with the team, that you'd see a noticeable difference, and I didn't see that, and it's a quick turnaround for sure. But something that we'll just really put a huge premium on in practice over the next couple days. Just our footwork and our closeouts. And I know it's a quick team and, a lot of drivers and mismatches on the perimeter and constant movement. So I know that can be hard to defend, but we've still got to be more disciplined with our defensive rotations and our stances and our one-on-one accountability. Also have to do a better job not putting other teams on the free throw line as much. I feel like those little ticky-tack fouls continue to add up, and we're not getting to the free throw line as much as we'd like. Tonight was a little bit better, but plenty to work on, but I'm really excited. I think this group has a chance to do something really special this year.
Right. Robin, I knew go up 18 in the third, and I know I think it was the first or the second quarter, you kind of went the same amount of points. You built those leads and they kind of chipped away a little bit. What happened defensively where they kind of just chipped away there?
I mean, we didn't get to shooters. We went to a zone just because it was so hard to chase, and it's like a game of chess. And, do you go with your size or do you try and match their perimeter players? And so, it's a 40-minute game. You make adjustments. They hit a couple threes back-to-back in our zone, so we went back to a man. But just even in our transition, being able to, locate shooters. I felt like they got us off the bounce a couple times with poor closeouts. But I thought we came back and hit some big shots too. I think we had 3 possessions in a row of pretty big shots that, were timely shots too. So, I'd also say I think, our girls are probably a little tired. You go from, one day off and you get a road game, and we did get after it a little bit yesterday, but I know a break will be good. They've been really good in film session, trying to break down, trying to learn, trying to embrace, but it's a marathon, not a sprint. And like I said, we want to lead the country in improvements, weekly improvements, and I think that's just the mindset of our team.
Coach, where do you think the communication piece mostly comes in on defense? Is that some of the help defense and rotations underneath there, or where do you see that kind of manifesting?
Absolutely every part of it. It's not anywhere close to where it needs to be. We've got to be a lot more assertive, using our voice, a lot more direct. It can't be, you've got shooter. It's got to be, Hayley, you got shooter. Just a lot more direct in the way we communicate. Or I've got 12, not I've got shoot. It's just more specific. We got to hear the command, and then we got to execute it. And whether it's screening action and we're switching or we're getting through, whether it's transition defense and we're getting matched up, from top to bottom, everybody on that roster has got to get better from a communication standpoint.
Coach, you were able to dominate around the basket. Looking at 50 to 24 in paint points, you rebounded them 49 to 30. How are you able to use your size to your advantage and just control it near the basket?
Yeah, that first half, I felt like I didn't like the flow of our offense at all. I felt like we were a one pass and attack and trying to play off the bounce way too much. And really felt like we did a better job in that second half, trusting more of our screening action, which allowed some really good looks around the basket. But, so many times we're like a one-pass team and we want to just jack it up instead of like trusting 2 ball reversals and let's see, what we can get out of it and try to get some easy looks and get that defense moving side to side. And I thought in the second half we did a much better job of that.
Mama, with the 10 steals, what were you seeing in the pass lane that was working so well in defense?
Honestly, I didn't even realize I had that many steals. It wasn't until the game that they told me, so I had no idea. But I think I always try to be in the passing lane. I know I have to set the tone on defense, and I feel like that's how it starts. Coach B today into the round asked me to have a double digits on steals, so you owe me a lollipop.
Okay, thanks. Hey, if I knew that's all I had to do. We're talking tonight.
I think I owe her one too for something.
Hayley, you were able to control the pace of play with your scoring ability, first big scoring output of the game. How are you able to just control and take a lead on the offensive end?
I thought my teammates did a really good job of creating for me on the off-ball screening action. They were chasing everything, so we had some really good looks just on the tight cut. I mean, kind of struggled the last few games, so just trusting and staying true to who I am and what I do.
Coach,
She would say she struggled, but she wouldn't give herself enough grace. I mean, she's been injured, she's been sick, she had an upper respiratory virus going around, and so just trying to get her legs back. I mean, she doesn't give herself enough grace, but still was an incredible leader for us as she was kind of battling through some of that stuff. And I think uncommonly, a lot of times when you're a senior, you think it should be, it's my turn, but man, the way she's shown up for this team day in and day out in that locker room and on that court, despite not feeling well, but you guys all know she's pretty uncommon in everything she does.
Coach, Angie got going early down low. How important would you say it was for her to get off to a good start, especially since she'd been struggling with foul trouble early in games?
Yeah, we talked a little bit before shoot around. I think there's another level in her, and unfortunately tonight probably was a tough game to get her going, just because of the matchups, and so I wanted to, see if we could take advantage of her inside. But then, we're asking her to guard on the perimeter, which is probably stretching her, which is good, but not her strength. And so limited in her rotations, limited in her minutes, but I did think, she had some good minutes out there for us. I mean, almost a double-double in 13 minutes, so not too bad. I think our biggest thing that we were seeing was when we're in a zone, I was okay, but when we're in a man, I didn't think it was a good matchup.
With Avery out, how have you kind of been helping Abby just kind of get acclimated to playing backup point guard and kind of teach her the ways that you do it, or how the team wants it?
Yeah, I think she's a very talented player, and just remind her to be who she is. We're gonna help her on everything. As a freshman, I know it's tough to come in and have to play the point guard spot, so I've been there. So I think just making sure I have eye contact with her and letting her know that it's okay. She's gonna do mistakes, but it's part of the process. I think that's a big thing, and she works so hard and she wants it so bad that it's so easy to go there and help her and not even get mad when she does mistakes, because she's gonna improve and she's gonna get better. So she's just an amazing player.
Hayley, do you have something? Okay. Hayley, you mentioned how you were able to get up and off-ball cuts a ton tonight. Obviously, you found a lot of success with the ball in your hands. You found a lot of success in the past. Would you say you're becoming more comfortable and more proactive with moving off the ball and scoring off the ball too?
I feel like that's always been kind of a strength of mine, is just being able to read the defense. And I think a lot of times whenever the team's willing to screen, they guard me so hard, 2 will go to 1 and create for other people. So, I think it's tough on the defense if we can get me into screening action.
For Hayley and Mama, obviously Grace being in her fourth game as a college player, she's double digits every single game. How have you seen her get acclimated to the college game and just kind of, improve or just kind of go through these first 4 games?
It's no surprise to me when you see every day how hard she works, the number of shots she gets up. I think it's just a result of the work she's put in, this offseason and really her whole life. She's just a gym rat.
I agree. She's just so good.
Glad she's on our team.
Yeah.
Coach, through 4 games, shooting as a team 39% from 3. You've got, it looks like Abby Schrake's actually at 56% to start the season. What are you liking about some of the just look generation from beyond the arc there, and how that's fitting into the offense?
Yeah, I think that's actually a little bit low for what we can be at this year. To be honest with you, I think we've got, like they were talking about, players that really do a great job getting in outside of practice, and I think as we settle into our offense, you'll find us, getting more rhythm threes versus off the bounce. I think in that first game, it seemed like a lot of our threes were off the bounce. And I just think once we continue to get comfortable with each other, the pace that we want to play at, and the spacing that we need to have, I feel like those numbers will go up, just because we've got, I think, a player that can be very dominant on the inside. And again, you haven't seen Angie's best basketball yet. We've got several other players that I feel very confident in their ability to play with their back to the basket. And so it really puts people in, I think it will, as we clean things up, put players in teams in a situation where they'll have to figure out, to go inside, or, do we get out to the perimeter, but all that, it takes time. We've got a lot of new players and a lot of different rotations that we're looking at right now, so it's early in the season, and not as clean as we'd like, but also probably what's expected a little bit at this time of the year.
We'll take one or two more.
Robin, I know you brought in Abby to sub in for Mama in the first 5 minutes of the game, I think. How much more confident are you with her with getting that backup point guard spot? Just kind of
I mean, we've got to get her we got to force feed her right now, because, there's going to be time when, whether Mama gets in foul trouble, and, we just have to get her reps. And so I'm really confident in Abby. I think she studies the game. She wants to watch film. She wants to talk about, okay, what would be the right play to call here? Why should we do this? Like, she is a student of the game. And in addition to that, she's got an incredible work ethic too. And so, she's not going to be Mama, but we don't need her to be Mama. We need her to be Abby, and we need her to do her skill set. And, I think it's two completely different looks, and both are really, really good. I mean, obviously, Mama's a veteran, and so, she's got a lot of experience on her, and, but very, very confident in Abby, and she's just a worker.
Anybody else? All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I forgot to-